Hi, I'm Karen Hurd, and I'm here with our next edition of Asking for a Friend. And I want to share with you the conversation that I've been having with so many senior leaders over the last week, which is about how they are preparing their managers and their supervisors for the day after the election in the United States. So many of you are concerned because you know that you have a very diverse workforce with people's different opinions, and people are going to be coming to work emotional at the extremes that day. So anticipating that you will have some people who are showing up celebratory and joyful, and others who will be devastated and concerned. There will be deep fear, there will be anxiety, there will be optimism, and all of that cocktail, and people will be spewing all of that emotion onto one another. And you've been working so hard already on your diversity and inclusion efforts, your cultural efforts, and how do you ensure that you don't take a step backward during that time, and that you can use this opportunity to reinforce that it is so important that you create an environment where you truly listen to one another and treat one another with deep respect. So what I have been hearing, and people who are doing this really well are getting out in front of this now by having the conversations of how do people like us act? How do we support one another? How do we respect one another? And calling back to your core values and reinforcing those in this context, knowing that next week is going to be a challenge for your culture. And reminding people now, while emotions may be less intense, about how you expect people to talk with one another and work with one another during that time. The other thing I'm hearing is people are anticipating it will be a turbulent week. And so how do you create some space for people to just be able to sit with their emotions? So I know one executive said, you know what, I am canceling our regular meetings for that week, knowing that we're going to have some time that we're going to need to be available for our team. So what can we postpone or save for a later time? I know others are saying, you know what, I'm scheduling one-on-one times with each of my direct reports so that I have an opportunity to be there for them, to support them in any way that would be valuable. And the other thing is really helping your frontline managers with some basic skills around reflecting to connect. So when someone comes to you and they're visibly angry, and you could say, you know what I can see is that you seem to be very angry right now. So you're reflecting back that emotion. Then you could even say, if I were you, I would be feeling the same way, which is absolutely true. Whether you agree with the reason for their anger or not, if you were them with that background, with those values, with that experience, you would be angry too. Or you could say, I can tell that you are really happy about the outcome of the election. It sounds like you're really celebrating now. If I were you, I would be feeling this way too. So encouraging your managers to not engage and share their opinions, but just to create a safe space for people to talk. And the other is, I'm hearing a number of people say, you know what, we cannot assume that we know what someone's political views are. So we could say, oh, I'm sure everyone here is liberal, or I'm sure everyone here is conservative, so I can now, in this safe space, share these views. And so give your managers a safe space themselves that they can vent or they can express their emotions, but then instruct them to, when they're working with their teams, to just be working on having inclusive conversations and trying not to use their position of power to bring their own political views into the mix. So those are a few of my thoughts and what I have been hearing senior leaders are thinking and doing as they are preparing their teams right now. I am so curious, what would you add?